All right then. Hello, welcome, bienvenue. It's time for another Amish Inquisition. Episode 399 on Sunday, the 16th of November, 2025. I'm Phil.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight we're very happy to be joined from just down the road by Ant Critchley. Alright, chat.
All right, yeah, so just down the road indeed. I should have come to yours, really. And I don't drink anymore, but we could have I'd have had a Coke with you, maybe.
Next time.
We could have had a tray of expensive potatoes. Expensive local potatoes.
What kind of potatoes?
Spud Brothers.
Spud Brothers.
Oh, God.
The Spud Brothers.
We don't know, we don't follow internet culture, Ben, on this podcast.
Yeah, that went totally over my head,
We create it.
Spud Bros. What on earth is all that about, man?
I'm not quite sure why that took off, but there we go.
It's amazing how they've managed to do that with jacket spuds, isn't it? It's unbelievable how they've managed to do it. You see queues, don't you? Like the queuing. I mean, Brits love a good queue, don't they?
Yeah.
You know?
It's part of our psyche. Was it Tony last week who was talking about it, weren't he? About queuing is like almost like a spiritual pastime for the British.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they've done, isn't it? They've combined the two great pastimes of queuing and complaining about the price of things in one flag market.
Yeah. I walked into the lad's room and he was watching a video of Mr. Beast with the Spud Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I immediately turned the TV off.
Oh,
Get that poisonous rubbish out your eyeballs.
Wow, okay.
Honestly. Yeah, they're definitely controlled up. They've blown up so quickly. I think definitely George Soros is behind the Spud Brothers.
Maybe. They sponsor the local football team now, don't they?
Preston North End, yeah. They have the Spud
Yeah,
Brothers
they do,
logo
don't
on the
they?
shirt, don't they?
Seen that, yeah. Fair play to them. I don't know how they've managed it. I can't get anything going. I'm still earning a pittance. I don't know how they've managed it. Selling bloody jacket spuds. I don't know what it is, but well done, right?
They interview movie stars now. They had the Running Man on. I can't remember his name.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
like a jacket potato.
The new one who we were talking about last week. Yeah.
Right.
There we go. And they've had Will Smith, Mr. Beast, of course.
I've noticed a trend of Hollywood A-listers who are trying to
Spud wash themselves.
Well, I was going to say rehabilitate the public PR image.
Yes.
Yeah, but you could call it spud washing. I like that, man.
Yeah.
Spud washing technique.
Yes.
I remember Liam Neeson turned up when he had that Naked Gun movie reboot coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just marketing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of marketing nonsense.
Look, Helen of Berkshire has never heard of the Spud Brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Till now.
Yeah.
Well, Google it, Helen.
Until now, yeah.
They're a phenomenon.
They are.
It blows me away. It really does blow me away how they've managed to do it.
How did you get into all this, Ant? How did you become a digital dissident?
Well, I don't know about a digital dissident, but a conspiracy theorist maybe, you know. And
Or a conspiracy therapist?
therapist. Well, yeah, do a bit of therapy as well, actually. But I had a bit of an awakening, a bit of a strange awakening in 2012. And it took me on a bit of a strange path where I was just exposed to the madness of this world, really. So, you know, I know you guys like a bit of esoteric stuff and a bit of the out of the ordinary, so I don't mind sharing it with you guys because it might not put your listeners off. But I had, I'd just gone through a divorce, so I'd been through a bit of trauma, and me and my daughter had moved to a little house in 2 Up 2 Down in Standish, and I was struggling terribly financially at the time. And a friend of mine, he was a psychic medium, he said to me, he said, Ant, you need to ask your angels for help. And I went, fuck off. That's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. And he went, no. He said, when your daughter's in bed tonight, say it out loud and ask for help. So, like a dickhead, I'm in the living room, my daughter's in bed, and I can't even remember the words, but I said something, went to bed, didn't think anything of it. Following day, I'm driving to my parents' house and with my daughter. And then on the dashboard was all these wands and on the clock in the clock in the middle, so it was 11:11, and on the dashboard was all these ones. I'm like, there's something wrong with my car here. Pulled over, turned the engine off, turned it back on. All these ones are still there. Anyway, I thought, right, whatever. Get to my parents' house. And then I'm sat down, and as you do, starts flicking through Facebook. And this thing pops up, and if you see 111, your angels are listening. And all the hairs stood up. And I was like, what the hell's that? And then I kept seeing 11:11, like all the time. Like it was constant. It was just all the time. So I started doing some research, and I found Rick Clay. Have you guys ever heard of Rick Clay?
No, who's that?
No. Okay, so Rick Clay he had a very popular alternative fringe blog, one of the early ones, really. And I found he was talking about 11:11 and the fact that it was a gateway, if you like. And he explained, and it was fascinating, but this snippet that I found was on a 2 to 3 hour red ice interview. So I listened to the whole thing, and it blew me away. He goes in about the Olympic ground in London where they built, and all the roads and how it was done. And he talked about 9/11. So that exposed me then to 9/11. And Rick Clay sadly passed away about 2 weeks after that interview.
Wow.
People say that he did himself in, and then other people say that he was done in. But he was a very, very bright young man that knew the way the world works. But that then took me on that journey. So back in 2012, I started then just seeing, like, loose change, for example, came into my consciousness then. Various other things just kept appearing, the Mandela effect. I was just being thrown all these things. And I was being exposed to the shadow of this world, really. So that led me and my partner got together around that time as well. And she fell ill very quickly. And there's a little story there as well. I'd just moved to Croston, which is a little village just outside Leyland, me and my daughter. I've been there a couple of weeks, and my new missus was there with her son, and my daughter was there, and I was cleaning the kitchen, and I find this piece of paper on the floor, and it was all folded up. And I unfolded it, and it said, "Do not forget to breathe." And I was like, passed it around to everyone. Whose is this? Does anybody know where this piece of paper's? Nobody knew a thing, didn't know where it come from. I still got the piece of paper, and within weeks, my missus fell ill, really ill. Like, we were in hospital. We were in A&E 100 times in the first year being together. We've been together nearly 12 years. And I nearly lost her 2 or 3 times on this journey, which then led me and her, well, what it was, I come from a tech background, so I had a decent job in Knowsley. We were living in quite a nice house in Bretherton, which is quite a affluent area. And every time I would be speaking to my missus on the phone, she'd be collapsing. And I was 40, 50 minutes away. So I'm like, I need to do something. I've got to be there physically. How do I look after my family, keep a roof over my head, and make sure my missus is all right? So I had this brilliant idea. I'll get a pub because we've got a roof. What a great idea. Get a pub. What a fucking nutter, right? So I'm from Wigan. The majority of my life I've lived in Wigan. And there was this pub near Hay Hall called the Balcarres Arms. And on the outside, I used to drive past it going into Hay Hall when I used to take my daughter and take the dogs or whatever. And it looks beautiful, you know, it's got all this cobbled area at the front, and it looks really attractive, like a village, country village pub. I thought, this is perfect. And it came up. I thought, we'll have this. Went for the interview and blah, blah, blah. Smashed that. Thought, right, handed me notice in, moved the family. It was a drug den. Oh, like, shit. You wouldn't believe how bad it was. This was like... So I've never obviously ran a pub before. In fact, I hadn't even stepped in a pub for maybe about 3 years, to be honest with you. And they were doing cocaine off the pool table. They're so blasé about it. Give a shit. They just didn't give a shit. They come to There was the first night, one of the lads in the pub came to the bar and I served him. And I went, what's that on your nose? And it all fell out. It just fell out of his nostril. And I'm like, what have we done here? And we spent probably about 4 months cleaning the place up, right? Shit. And we were changing it. And we got a new menu, making an eatery pub, like a dog-friendly family pub. Windows went through, death threats. And then Marston's, and I'll say it because I'll never step in a Marston's pub again. They went, you're going to have to let the drug dealers back in.
Give over.
Fucking hell, really?
No. Yeah, we'll have to let the drug dealers back in. And they said, we'll put protection on for you while we settle it all down.
Max and Paddy.
Yeah, Max and Paddy. Yeah. And I was like, no. Not a chance. I've got kids upstairs. We're getting death threats. We couldn't even walk in the village. Couldn't step outside the pub. My missus disabled. You know what I mean? I was like, this is outrageous. Anyway, so this is leading us into 2020.
Right.
Okay. And we were like, well, what did happen? Anyway, so there's a pub that was available in the Croston where we were originally from called The Crown. And interestingly called The Crown as well. So what happened was our lad,
Corona.
Corona, exactly. So we signed for that pub the day they shut the pubs.
Wow.
You couldn't write it. We moved the family the Saturday. So they shut the pubs on the Friday. We moved the family on the Saturday and we went into lockdown on the Monday.
Wow. Fuck me.
But, right. So the whole journey of us, the awakening journey that we had from 2012 was perfect for us because we saw it when I was behind the bar at the Balcarres and Sky News were putting all this crap on with Wuhan and people are collapsing in the street, and I'm like, what a load of shit this is shit. And the people behind the other side of the bar like, you're kidding, man, people are dying, and all this kind of stuff. And like, anyway, we got to the Crown and I thought, what am I going to do here? Because we moved into this, we've just spent a load of money to get there. I'm going to have to play the game for a bit, really. So obviously we were in lockdown for a period of time, but I was already active on Facebook kind of thing and making a bit of noise and getting a lot of stick from, your friends and your family and stuff like that. But there was a fringe element coming to me with the same vibe. And during that lockdown, I would have people come into the pub behind closed doors, we'd close the curtains, open the back door, and we'd have 15, 20 people sat around the table kind of thing. The village obviously got wind of a few things, people turning up at the pub, so we'd have the police coming round and things like that. But I knew that I had to play safe because we didn't know how long this nonsense was going to last. We had no idea. And so I went down the route of buying, I think they were like these sort of canopy tents, where you had to have the 666 rule when we first opened. It was like the 6 feet, the rule of 6, all that crap. So I had these pods. I bought these pods where people could go with their families, and I thought, I'll play this game for a bit because don't know how long it's going to last. I know it's a lot of shit, but let's just try and survive what's going on. Anyway, when they brought out the mask wearing to go from table to toilet,
right,
I was done. I was done then. My soul was screaming at me. It wouldn't allow me to do it. I was done. So it was like, this is what's happening now, guys. We are a pub, and we're opening as a pub, and we are just going to be a pub. And that's it. Now, in Croston, in the village of Croston, there's 5 pubs. It's a small village, but there's 5 pubs. We, after a period of time, obviously, we became the super spreaders of the village. Yeah. The villagers weren't coming to our pub. We had a handful that recognised that, we had a couple of regulars that kept us going. But the place became very popular in the awaken community. So we had a Truth of Tuesday every Tuesday, and people would come from miles around. We became a hub, really, at that time. However, anyone in the pub business will know if you lose your regulars, you're knackered. So we knew. When I made that decision that I was going to operate as a pub, I sat with my missus, who again, like I say, is disabled, and we sat upstairs and I said, look, I'm really, really sorry. I said, but we're going to lose everything because I'm not doing this. I'm not treating people like cattle. I've not come here to do that. So that's what we did, and we lost everything. By the end of 21, we were done. You know, we lost absolutely everything. So that was hard because I had a breakdown after that. It was a complete exhaustion. And we ended up in social housing after a while, which we're so grateful for. However, it's never stopped my fight, you know, because everything that we did at that time is because I see, in a way, for me, they come from my kids. You know, whatever was going on right there, as a dad, as a protector, you know, that for me was enough for me to say, look, I'm just not having this. Not on my watch are you coming ruining my kids' lives. You know, and this is the problem now we've got with digital ID. I was trying my best to be on holiday, you know, just enjoying doing my channel, talking about consciousness and you know, that's all I wanted to do, you know. Yeah. And then fucking Starmer does that announcement, doesn't he? Hey, and it's like, I'm back in the game, Anna.
Yeah.
I've no choice but come back in the game.
We've not really talked about it, the digital ID in any depth. I mean, we covered it briefly when it was announced. Would it be about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that?
Yeah, it's not that long ago. I think it was it October? No, it was before September. I think it was September. It wasn't long because it was part of the equinox. I think he did it 2 or 3 days. Like you have a 3-day waning on the equinox, and he did it on the 3rd day, and it's part of the harvesting. So everything they do, we know that they use rituals, and we know they use dates and everything else, and they were very clever again with that harvesting of energy that was fed, because of the fact that people are going to get frightened again. Anyone who has seen what's happened in China over the past few years will know there's a problem if they've taken any notice. If anyone's taken any notice of Agenda 2030, will know this is a problem. So here we are, back in the game, aren't I? And what can I do? I don't know. I'm only me, but I've got to do something. That's just my soul. It's the way my soul works, I'm afraid.
Well, I mean, we're the guys who are alive and active at the moment. We have the opportunity. Our kids can't do it for us, but it's going to be them who are affected the most. And the people who
100%.
grow up under this slave system in the next 30 years, if we allow it to happen. And the only way it's going to happen is if good people do nothing. It's like any other kind of evil they try and pull over us. So we've got a great opportunity.
I've been saying that. This is the opportunity. You know, we can be fearful of this, but this is the opportunity for us. If we can unite and tip the balance back in our favour a little bit, we can make the change really, really positively. And I'm convinced, actually, that the human spirit is strong enough to do that. But I think we must reach people on the streets. You know, having conversations with strangers in the street, or your neighbour, or family members, or whatever. I know we tried in 2020, but I think this is a little bit different this time. You know, where there's a little bit of a different feeling to this one. You know, I did the march in London recently, and there was a good feeling from either side of the streets, where in COVID time we were spat at. This time it was a little bit different. You know, people were on our side and joining the march. So that was interesting.
I think one of the big advantages this time around is back in 2020, one of the most powerful emotions was used, and that was fear. And that galvanized the resistance, whereas they don't really have that now. Although they are trying to stoke it up. I remember when Starmer first announced it, his rationale was that it would fix the small boats and the immigration and all that shit.
That's what it's been.
Yeah, and within 48 hours, he was talking about, well, think about how we access the NHS and your driving license and all this. And all of a sudden, everything's been added on to this sodding app, you know, this centralised thing. But I think, do you not agree? Like, I think one of the biggest problems we had getting through to anyone in 2020 was that people was just scared shitless.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, people were frightened, and it's understandable as well. If you've not been, people don't want to be exposed to this because it breaks your complete worldview, doesn't it? You know, and it's people want to be led. You know, we, as hard as it is, we are like herd animals, really, the humans. You know, and we like to be led, and we like to feel safe, and we just want a peaceful life. We just want a good existence. You know, this is a hard place to be. This realm that we're in. So this is, you know, the majority will look to the government, and this is why they do the fear tactic, obviously, and they create crisis, because it's the old David Icke saying, isn't it? You know, the problem, reaction, solution. So the migrant thing has been going on for a long time, engineered migration all over the place, all over Europe. It's a perfect little way of going, well, to tackle this, we need digital ID. And Tony Blair started opening up the borders, I think, back in the day, and he's wanted the ID, hasn't he? Was part of his thing. So, and I don't know how true it is. There's rumours of his son being involved as well, and the Tony Blair Institute are obviously heavily involved in advising the UK government. Not that it matters whose the UK government is. It could be Tory, Labour, or Reform, or anyone. Doesn't really matter. But they're all going to be.
You mentioned Tony Blair, because we did cover that. We harkened back to a news story. I think it was the weekend after Starmer was elected. There was a story in the BBC or the Guardian saying Labour rules out digital ID, because within the weekend of Starmer being elected, Tony Blair was in his ear pushing for digital ID, and they ruled it out back then. But obviously, 18 months is a long time in British politics.
I think the biggest fear for me is sort of completely non-conspiratorial and very, I'll give a normie view essentially, but successive governments have shown complete incompetence with control of the data and information they have. You know, leaving dossiers on trains. There's leaks every 5 minutes. The ones we know about are the big ones, but I bet there's hack events every day. So the more you tie to this one kind of source, as soon as that goes, you're fucked. All your banking's gone. What are they going to do then? There's no recourse. It seems a stupid idea, and for me, digital ID doesn't kind of instill fear, and I don't think it should do with anyone, because people should by now be realizing that, all right, these guys are only human and they suffer from, human errors and frailties, but just look at all the incompetent events that have happened over the last 20 years. It's not a great idea. So
it's not.
I think more people, and you could say, well, the media aren't reporting this, but I bet on the street, the man on the street, like you say, Anne, I bet they're saying, actually, this is really dumb, because these guys can't
run a bath.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true, but I've had conversations with strangers as well. In fact, I had a conversation with a neighbour. I was putting on a "Say No to Digital ID" sticker on my back windscreen, and he come out and he said, I've got different opinion, actually. I've got different view. And I said, that's great, that's fine. We should all have our own opinion. He said, yeah, but we've got to get these back, haven't we? We've got to send them back. I said, what do you mean you're going to send them back? I said, yeah, we've got to. How else do we deal with this? Are you kidding me? So this is done on purpose. Do you think they're coming on a fucking rubber dinghy? They're being flown in. You know what I mean? This is not. Seriously, look into it. But we're up against. I had some hate actually on an Instagram post as well. Similar kind of thing, having a right go at me, saying, if we don't have this, we're never going to be able to sort our borders out.
Fuck that! Really? Just give them all jobs. Let him fill the potholes and all the jobs that we're too fancy to want to do.
Yeah. It's a complete red herring.
So we do have a little bit of a battle to bring people on side, but it's less of a battle than in 2020. It's a completely different thing. However, I don't think people truly understand the government overreach and the potential that something that this digital ID is really the gateway, the bridge to, like you said, if it's on your bank account details, attached to your bank account details, the CO2, all that kind of crap that they're putting in the bank accounts now, and then it's attached to, everything, your NHS, your NHS apps, like you say, it's connected to everything. They'll track everything about you. In China, they can surveil every situation about an individual, like a blockchain, basically like Bitcoin, where every transaction's made and you can see every single transaction. They'll know every step you make, wherever you go, whatever you do. It's like the police song, isn't it? It'll just be that.
So sorry, go on.
Sorry, do you not think they can do that anyway here? I think there's probably a lot of stuff they already have that. I mean, I've resigned myself to all my data's out there.
Yeah, and I'm open enough to say if they want to know about me, they can find out about me. I'm fully agree with you. They can. The difference is if we consent into it. As soon as we consent to this, we are literally giving everything the power, because that's all we ever do is give our power away to others. And if we allow this, our kids' futures are screwed, because government, as we know, they don't just take a little bit now and then not bother later. They're going to take a little bit and then a little bit and then a little bit and a little bit. Like you were saying, Phil, they announced the migrant thing, and then the next day they're talking about NHS and how great it is in India that they can get the money sorted quicker in India. Wonderful, that's great. So you're going to attach it to the bank accounts, and then you'll have universal basic income. You'll have your central bank digital currencies, which are just going to be vouchers, controlling every single aspect of your life.
Programmable money.
Programmable money.
So, use it within 28 days or it's gone.
Exactly. Yeah. No savings. Hey, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Bliss.
Bliss.
One foreseeable ramification I can see, which would be almost a given, I think, will be social media. So you'll need to present or show your digital ID to sign up for social media, which obviously has implications for anonymity online, whistleblowing, taste profiling for marketing, 77th Brigade snooping around your posts and reporting you for being a dissident, all the rest of it.
Well, you know what, Phil? What's interesting about the snooping side of things is in China, again, I know I'm going talking about China, but let's be honest, it's the model they want. If you don't clear out your yard, your neighbour will gain more social credit points by going on their app and going, Mr. Wong over there hasn't cleared his yard properly, so he'd dob him in. But people love it. Look. I know, because they were dobbing me in every week at the Crown. You know what I mean? People love it. Yeah. They love it. If they can get a bit of extra credit and screw someone over, they will do.
Give the people what they want. That's all they're doing, isn't it?
So, but the police probably don't realise they're going to be out of a job themselves in 15 years if this goes through, because we'll police ourselves. Yeah. We're just telling each other, look what Mr. Smith's just done now there. Well, I'll take a picture, boom, straight up. Well, he loses money.
We already police our own speech to an extent, especially online in this country, because we don't have the same freedoms as other countries. 12,000 people a year, is it, in the UK being arrested for social media posts. So that has to have an effect on how people voice their opinions online, rightly or wrongly.
But that's frightening in itself, isn't it, Phil? That's actually happening. I know, nobody needs to be an arsehole, do they? We don't need that. But what has happened to freedom of speech? This literally doesn't exist anymore.
It's my right to be an arsehole, goddammit.
And it is. And I would protect you to be an arsehole.
That's what they say about free speech, isn't it? Is that, was it Benjamin Franklin? I might not agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. That's what whole free speech rub is. It's about protecting speech you don't agree with.
But this is the long-term game, isn't it? How they've managed to get everyone so offended with the woke kind of thing over the past 15 years as well. You can't say anything anymore, can you? You know, and it offends people. I mean, it was a few years ago, because me and my missus, we found the Eddie Murphy Raw stand-up. Have you ever seen it? It's for me, it's one of the funniest stand-ups ever. Yeah. And we put it on in the house, and my daughter, she weren't happy. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the funniest thing ever. But because he's talking about homosexuals, he's talking about white people and Italians and blah, blah, blah. The offence is there. It's in the programming. We're so heavily programmed.
Jim Davidson on next.
I know. Yeah, well, it's like, was it pre-2020 when, if you remember, I think the statue went into the river in Bristol. There was all this weird stuff going on, the BLM marches and all that kind of stuff. Matt Lucas came out and apologised for Little Britain at that time. You know, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Little Britain was one of the funniest series I've ever watched in my life. It was hilarious. Don't apologise for that. No. But that's the thing. That's where we're up to now. You know, and at that time as well, Fawlty Towers was getting a disclaimer on TV. You know, that it might offend viewers.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That was when we watched Aladdin.
The remake of Aladdin.
No, the original one on Disney. It would come up with a thing saying, you know, please be warned, this has cultural stereotypes and tobacco depictions or something like that. But we watched it.
It's my favourite.
We watched it again, like a week or two ago, and it didn't have a warning on it this time, so it's gone.
Times they are a-changing.
Things have rolled back.
Which is interesting.
Positive moves.
The world is healing.
The winds have changed.
Yeah. It's strange though, isn't it? How, you know, that was only a few years ago. I must have watched it with the kids, and then I've watched it again.
Orange Man.
Because it's a classic.
Got the Orange Man to thank, I think.
Suppose. Yeah.
The Orange Man.
The only disclaimer should be, remember, just don't be a dick. It fits.
I think that's it.
Right?
It's not hard, is it? It's not hard to not be a dick. It's pretty easy, that.
Yeah,
just be decent.
Well, it's that other thing, isn't it, about accepting that some people are going to have different opinions to yours, and that whole shift, I suppose. Like, I think Joe Rogan talks about this a lot, doesn't he? In terms of
Joe Trojan.
Where you know the hard left has changed completely in terms of how it goes about things, and it advocates violence and things like that. You know,
Punch a Nazi was one of the slogans I remember from that Summer of Love. Was it?
What's
the
her
Black
name?
BLM.
Is it something Sultana or Sultana something?
Zara Sultana?
Is that her name? Who was so. She was saying about fighting fascists in the street or something. That was something I was listening to recently, which you could technically take as a call to violence, I suppose.
It's very punk 70s kind of.
The thing is, a lot of these words have just lost their meaning, like fascists and Nazi and racist. They're thrown around, and they've lost their power because people are using them in the wrong context.
Well, yeah, and I don't think she was particularly using it in the right context from what she was describing, but I still think people buy into it.
Yeah,
I do. You know, I don't know, or certain people might hear that kind of language and just think, yeah, whatever, you know, you're talking nonsense. But I do think some people will go, yeah, that is what a fascist is, basically.
Well, I think a lot of that's down to social media and the way people's experiences are curated on social media, and you end up, the algorithm sort of finds your proclivities and pushes you deeper and deeper into this sort of bubble. You end up in a bubble, and like Blue Sky, that was the one that set up, wasn't it, after Elon bought Twitter. There was one set up called Blue Sky for people who didn't want to have to deal with fascists and Nazis anymore, because Twitter is the social platform of the Nazi party, according to these people. Okay. There was an article I was reading in The Guardian, I think just this weekend, describing Twitter as the far right social platform Twitter.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Because again, this like Guardian journalist, it was an opinion piece, to be fair,
Right.
is in this social milieu of,
Right.
of the left. And if you're either with us or you're a fascist.
It's crazy.
It's really strange, isn't it? I mean, during the 2020 period, I mean, I've been a left-wing tree hugger most of my life. You know, that I was brought up working class, pretty much against the Tories growing up. You know, my family taught me that Margaret Thatcher was evil. You know what I mean? That's how I was brought up. Yeah. And then come 2020, I was called a right-wing gammon because of my views. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
You've come full circle. Well done.
What do you call it when the window shifts? What is
The
it?
Overton window.
That's it, the Overton window, yeah.
The Overton window, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Strange times we are in, strange times.
Yeah.
So they were calling you a gammon for not sticking to like the lockdown rules?
Yeah, yeah.
That's bizarre.
And my views, yeah, a right-wing gammon.
How many roundabouts have you painted this month, man?
It was wild. It was wild, and the amount of it was weird time, really. You know, because like I said, we used to have a lot of people coming, and we used to have speakers on a Tuesday night as well that would come and talk about sovereignty and various other ways that we could maybe navigate our way through this crazy period, because it was going on longer than we thought. And the neighbours would be in the back, because we'd have. Have you ever been to Crossing? It's quite a tight knit community. Nice. Yeah. It's beautiful. Crossing's beautiful, but and we had the really big back area, and I had people living there. You know, that was we became a village of conspiracy theorists that never wore a mask. You know what I mean? So walk around with no shoes on and shit like that.
Bloody gammons.
Yeah, exactly. But they would come round and film. The neighbours would come round and film what was going on and send it to the council.
Oh,
and
they're tapping into some very sort of base psychological instincts there about like in and out groups and things like that. You know, creating a national in group, which is, you know, what was the thing? Safe space. No, what did I say?
Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
Yeah, it was in threes. That was one thing, wasn't it? There was
all in
hands,
threes,
face, space.
Hands, face, space. That's the one.
Look them in the eyes and tell them you didn't wear a mask.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but they're creating, you know, an in group, and then you naturally will. Anybody who's not as part of your group, you will naturally see the differences and then criticize them essentially, or criticize them to your friends, and you will feel good about it. It's like it's a human instinct, and you've got to watch yourself.
It's interesting.
When you find yourself doing that.
You mentioned like the psychological thing and creating like a base, like just base people essentially. We're losing that subtlety and any sort of complexity of you know thought and constructiveness and critical thinking and all that is kind of going. It takes
effort though, doesn't it? That
does take effort. It's a lot easier to let the government make your decisions for you and polish your views, and you just follow the rules. Then it takes a lot more psychological energy to try and figure these things out for yourself, or think, well, no, I don't agree with this, or maybe this doesn't smell right, and then to act upon it is difficult.
Yes.
I found it
difficult.
Man. I found it very difficult in 2020.
I'm so busy. I've got my job, and then there's all the other stuff I've got to deal with. I've got to catch up on Maths UK.
Traitors, you've got to watch Traitors. Strictly, yeah.
There's so much shit I've got to do. I don't have time.
Distracted to death.
Tell me what to think. Tell me where to be.
Half of it is that though, isn't it? That life is so busy, and it's you might say that it's made to be deliberately busy. You know, with the destruction of the family and what you might call it, and you know everybody both. In the nuclear family, the man and the woman working, and it just means there's no time. You know, I think I've said.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right. You can just mute me. I wasn't going to say anything bad. Did you just switched off my digital ID?
I did, yeah. I just unpersoned.
It's as easy as that, Matt. Yeah. That's as easy as that.
As easy as pressing the button, mate.
And I was voiceless.
There's an actual cancel button there.
Silence.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
No, well, I didn't like where we were going, so I just turned you off.
Eliminated that thought from your brain.
He's gone. He's genuinely gone. I don't know what I was saying. Can you remember what I was saying?
No, I weren't listening.
That's pretty standard. Oh, the nuclear family, yeah.
Oh, nuclear family.
Yeah, so, well, you both work. If you're in a family where both of you work, and I quite often think that it'd be so much easier if one of us wasn't working, just to do all of and that would be me. I'd be the one I'd prefer not to work.
Yeah.
And look after the kids or whatever, but just can't do it.
That's the way
because
it
was. I want my shiny car, and I want.
That's Netflix. The way it was, and then the powers that be thought, "Hang on, half the population isn't being taxed here."
Yeah, exactly.
All that untapped revenue,
and it ensures growth, doesn't it, for 30 years?
Yeah, it increased growth, but all it did was inflate the price of everything.
Yeah,
your housing and everything else, because all of a sudden,
demand.
You've got two incomes coming in, so you can afford to pay twice as much for a house. So guess what? The price goes up; it doubles.
Fucking hell.
They're very good at enslaving us, aren't they? They're very, very good at it.
Mm. Well, debt's a big issue, isn't it? We're very quick to fall into debt.
Absolutely.
And we have to live. We need somewhere to live, and
we do.
Yeah. What can we do?
And it's a battle. It's a battle for sure. But the battle will get harder if we fall in line with this one. It's gonna get tougher.
Have you noticed other countries like you've mentioned China, obviously, but other countries like European countries talking about digital ID as well recently?
I think obviously it's lockstep kind of material, isn't it? They're rolling it out everywhere. It's part of the whole fourth industrial revolution transhumanism agenda. Really, that's where it's all heading. It's that's not for everyone to talk about, is it? I mean, the people on the street don't want to hear that level of material, but if you start really deep diving into it, you can see how dark this goes, and the spiritual side of things. It's a war. It's a spiritual war.
As long as I get my third cyborg arm, I'm happy.
Exactly, yeah. But how many people will sign up for, like you say, because they don't want to think, because life's busy? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's have this instead.
It does. I mean, it sounds convenient, doesn't it? I suppose that's the thing about having it all together, maybe.
One of the things Storm was saying is that it'll streamline your interactions with the state. I don't want any interactions with the state. I'm quite happy the way I am now, having zero. It's like,
exactly.
How are people going through their lives interacting with the state on a daily basis? I don't think most people are. How streamlined can it get, and what kind of benefit will it give to the man on the street?
If you include council tax and road tax, every time you get in your car, you're interacting with the state. Technically, it's a bit of a stretch. Road tax.
Yeah, it just comes out automatically every year. I don't touch it. I just get a letter and I don't read it. The money goes out.
I was watching an interview the other day, guys. I don't know if you know Beverly Turner. She's a news anchor on, and I'm not a fan of any sort of mainstream journalist, even though she has said some great things, Bev. You know what I mean? And but it was a very good interview, and it was with a guy from the Tony Blair Institute, and this guy was trying to sell it in a way, and he's going, yes, well, it's very convenient, you see. So instead of going into your drawer and getting all your paperwork out and finding that bill, that utility bill, and then uploading that and sending, you can get your child benefit like that. Wow. Like, that's not sold it to me, mate. You've not sold it to me. I will go and get the piece of paper, and I will take a picture of it, or I will send it in, or I'll turn up at the council office and give it to you if I need to. What's wrong with doing that? It's all convenient, isn't it? Let's all sell it as convenience.
God.
What do you think are the actual chances of this going through? Because Starmer said, by the end of this parliament, I want to introduce digital ID. That was, a couple of months ago. And I'm not sure he's going to be Prime Minister in January, the way it's going.
I don't think he's going to be Prime Minister either. I think there'll be a few ruses in this. I think we need to be very careful on where this goes. So we may get a battle win. It doesn't mean we've won the war, though. A reform government, for example, that would come in, that are saying all the right things They're not necessarily going to be on our side either. And so we're going to have to keep our eye on all this, because it is a creep. And they are doing everything by stealth. Everything's going on. The infrastructures, even in our town, in Preston, in Chorley, in the cities in Manchester and Liverpool, since 2020, these towers started appearing, cycle lanes started appearing, facial recognition cameras have started popping up everywhere. The infrastructure's already been put physically in not just in our towns, but in our homes. The smart meters, your smartphones, your smart TV, people have even got fridges that are connected to the internet. Are you mad? Are you mad? They'll switch your fucking fridge off.
we talked about that the other week, didn't we? It was Samsung. So Samsung have a fridge freezer with a screen on the front.
Yeah,
the idea is we covered it the other week. It has like this little widget, so it'll swap between the calendar, maybe the news, your calendar, the weather, and then they introduced an advertisement on it. So it starts putting advertisements on your fridge.
No.
But it's all right. It turns out you can opt out of it, which means disabling the widget, so you don't get the benefit. You don't get to see the weather or the news or whatever.
Just taping over it.
Yeah, tape over it.
Bit of gaffer tape, yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, speaking of the opt-out is a thing though, Phil, isn't it? Whereas this thing that Starmer's announced, pretty much for businesses, he's pretty much not allowed an opt-out at all, has he?
There's no opt-out.
You're either dissolving. I know a number of people that have dissolved their companies of late and gone sole trader, because they don't want to be involved in digital ID. But it's obviously, they're down the road, sole traders are going to have to go through this route as well. Anyone on benefits is going to have to go through the route. They're going to do it to everybody. So they're not giving anyone a choice. Now, this is dictatorship. They're not giving us an option. The driving license, your driving license expires over the next few months, you're going to have to go through the OneGov login.
Yeah.
That's the way they're doing it. They're not giving us the opportunity. I've been told, I don't know how true it is, I'll have to look, but they've been told that you could usually print a form off for your driving license, print it off, fill it in, take it to the post office. Apparently you can't get hold of that form anymore, and they're all the paper stuff's removed from the post offices. I don't know how true that is, but it's something I heard. But it wouldn't surprise me, because that's the way they do things. They make it harder. It's like the cash thing, isn't it? It's so much easier. You see kids now, they don't know how to use cash. If you go into, I think it was in Preston actually. It was in a restaurant in Preston about a year ago, and they didn't want me to pay cash, and I had the cash. I said, look, it's legal tender. You're going to have to take it. And they had the poor guy didn't know how to count the change. I was watching it. He didn't know what he was doing.
Space human.
I think we went somewhere once. I think that's the only time I've seen them say, no, we don't take cash. We went for one of our mates' 40ths, and I think we were in a pub, and he said, no, we don't take cash. You have to pay on your card. I think you were trying to buy a drink.
Oh, yeah, it fucks me off. I hate it. We went to a brewery in Manchester.
And
we walked in, and it was card only. I was like, oh, fuck this. It'll fuck me off right away.
Oh, right. I was thinking Leeds. It was in Leeds.
There's a couple of places we've been. It's again, it was one of those things that sort of started in 2020 and has been sort of increasing.
The hilarious thing is, during that time at the pub, sorry for interrupting, I was just taking cash. I was like licking the cash. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So... And I'm still here. So forget what deadly thing that was supposed to be going round.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut, though. Pizza Hut have had a trouble recently, haven't they? They went cashless.
Well,
they've gone, haven't they? They're in big trouble, yeah, they've gone. Administration. But they went cashless.
Oh, did they? Right, okay.
They went cashless, yeah. Go woke, go broke, innit?
I mean, on a more serious note, for businesses going cashless, I think one of the strongest arguments you can make is, what about people who are rough sleeping, who live on cash, and people putting their hand in the pocket and chucking them a few quid? To exclude them digitally is unethical in my view.
You could bax them 10p.
No.
Right. Okay.
I don't think so.
No, and I agree totally. You know, but again, the how unethical this country is why people on the bloody streets in the first place.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like people shouldn't even be on the streets. It's suffering. There's that much wealth. It's outrageous that people are struggling. But that's another story, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I've heard stories though that people are taking phone payments on the street.
Yeah.
Really?
Probably London, right?
Yeah.
Well, we went to
Yeah.
we
Like
went to
window
London.
washers.
Well, we went to London recently, and there was a man. You would probably say that he was a tramp. On the tramping was a thing, wasn't it? Though back in the day.
it's
So
like, yeah.
Trump, yeah.
yeah, and he was. To be fair, he was trying to sell a poem. He had poetry, and he said, "I'll sign it for you." And he said, "Yeah, I'll take cash. You can backseat me, you know, credit cards, anything like that, no problem at all." But we didn't take him up on it.
He was a sole trader, not homeless.
Yeah. I saw someone sitting down with one of his poems in the other carriage, so that made me feel a bit better. And we got off at the next stop. Yeah. But yeah, I think like, you know, people will start, they'll have a thing and you'll tap the phone or whatever with your phone and you'll give them £1 or
I mean,
whatever.
if it was Bitcoin, I could probably get on with that.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Something that's, you know, peer-to-peer, it's untraceable, you can't fuck with it as far as I understand. And, you know, the bank, every time you do a transaction digitally with a bank, they take a little piece. They make money off it for doing what? Very little. So I could get
but we're in for, are they going to do it is the question I think you mentioned before. Well, are they going to do it? Well, the infrastructure's all there. They're going to go ahead. They're going to do what they can to make this happen, aren't they? It's down to the people to come together, to stand and say no. It's just a big fat no, but we've got to do it we've got to unite, and they've got us so distracted and divided, fighting with each other constantly. The Truth and Movement is the most toxic of movements going. You know, everyone's just fighting each other all the time, hate each other. So they're not daft. They know how to play us. They know how to play us. But I think we can come back together like we did in the 2020 period, because that was quite an interesting time with the amount of people that came together at that point and stood and just said no. You know, and I think we can do that again, but we're going to have to keep an eye on the mission creep.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem we face maybe is probably apathy, just from the general population. I think a lot of people just think, it'll be right, it'll be fine.
It's the biggest problem, Phil, is apathy. I think the biggest problem. You know, my dad is one of the most intelligent, wonderful man, logical, and the one thing he said to me back in 2020 when I was fighting all this madness was, "And why are you doing this? There's always going to be someone that's going to sort the problem out. Always going to be somebody that's up there with the money and everything." I said, "Well, they're not, are they? It's not going to happen, is it? If we don't do it, who the hell's going to do it? We've got to do it. We've no choice. We can't stop giving our power away to others all the time. This is us. This is where it's a spiritual battle. As individuals, we need to remember who we are. This is the time of remembering, and we've got to stand up and to be counted now, because otherwise, the future generations are fucked. And if there's such things as reincarnation, I don't want to come back here if it's going to be the mess the way they're planning it. So I want to sort this place out before I go.
Yeah. What are you doing practically to try and organise? Are you trying to organise anything yourself?
Yeah, so the Truth of Tuesdays is back. So even though the pub died, I resurrected that a couple of weeks ago. So a few weeks ago, we had our first one back in Croston at a different pub. And about 50 people showed up, which was really nice. A few people that I never met before as well, which was really nice. We've got another one a week on Tuesday back in Croston, the 25th at the Highfield. So you're more than welcome to come along. And it's just about getting people together. And I've got a little bit of a WhatsApp group going on at the moment as well, where we're just having discussions on how we could possibly help people see what the pitfalls are with this if they just accept it willy-nilly. You know, they need to know what it is, because the mainstream media is not going to tell you the truth. So it's down to the people to do it.
I got an email, I think a day or two ago, because I signed the petition.
Yes, I saw that. I had one.
Yeah, they set the date for when it's going to be debated in Parliament, and they send you a video of it as well.
Oh, right.
A video of the debate. So
Yeah,
that'll be really interesting watching, I think, that.
There'll be 3 MPs in that debate, won't there? Because that's what they do, innit? It's like, when they're talking about their own money, it's a packed house.
Yeah.
When it was during, again, 2020, when it was really important, about 4 people.
Yeah, 2 of them were
Don't give
asleep.
a shit.
9 p.m. on a Friday night, it'll be.
Yeah. Couldn't give a crap.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. You know, you were hinting there a couple of minutes ago that it almost a feeling of inevitability, like, because the powers that be want this system, not to get too black-pilled about it. Are you optimistic that enough people are going to put their foot down? Because I mean, we had 1 million people before the Iraq War when Tony Blair was in charge, and it didn't make a blind bit of difference.
No,
So you wonder, you know, is it possible? Is it possible to get a sort of a mass movement?
I think it's
to
possible,
oppose it?
yeah. I really do think it's possible. I think enough people would just not use those systems. And it's a way that you could actually start trading with others. It's a really difficult thing because everyone relies on the government and the system that we're already born into. I do feel enough pressure where we're just going to say, no, we're not going to do it. They can't put it. They can't put it through. They've got to give. If they're going to have it, they're going to have to give another way, an alternative way of doing these things, rather than being everything on a centralized system. I don't want all my biometric data that's hackable on one system. That's ludicrous. It's so dangerous with your banking situation, with everything, your health and everything. I mean, what was it the other week? The Amazon services server went down, didn't it? The AWS server went down. So the government website went down. I mean, that was just genius. Yeah. It's genius, isn't it? You know, it's like that says enough for me. If everything's on one app and the server goes down,
Single point of failure.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I would very, very much like to sell you my new product, which is digital ID insurance to protect against hacking. It's only £60 a month, but you'll have peace of mind for the rest of your life.
I tell you what, I have so much faith in that, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell your friends. Get on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever.
Blue Sky it is.
Being a right-wing gammon that I am these days, yeah, I'll probably sign up to that.
I guess what it might come down to is, assuming that they do bring it in and it's before the end of this Parliament, will be non-compliance, mass non-compliance. You know,
Got to be
people
that.
just not using it.
Well, why don't we get that with council tax or like when the energy bills went through the roof because of Russia or whatever? There was talk of it, and it never happened.
No.
The one example is apparently that I've heard of is rationing. So they tried to continue rationing.
It went into the 50s, 1950s.
Yeah, and basically
1954, I think.
And they tried to continue it on and on and on. And what happened is people just stopped. Instead of like having, mass protests and brawls and setting fire to everything, people just stopped doing it.
It's
basically.
like what happened with the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
People just had enough. It got to the point where it was dragging on for years, and people's tolerance sort of waned. It's almost like they got bored of it.
Well, yeah, and you also learn, don't you, that actually you don't really need to do any of this and things will be fine the longer it goes on with that kind of thing. So I don't know. And that is, I suppose that is culturally, that's how British people protest, is by just giving up.
Classic.
Yeah. I went on a night out. I was out in Longridge last night with a load of other mums and dads tied to the football team. And for some reason, I don't know, the conversation was on social media, and made the statement that I thought the world was better before social media and smartphones. And almost everyone agreed with me, apart from one.
Oh.
Out of maybe 10 people.
Right, okay.
So I think people are becoming more aware of the pitfalls of the digital life that we're leading. And people are maybe more open to being persuaded that maybe this isn't a good move for us.
What do you think about the youngsters, though? I think our fight, we're sort of, our generation right now, we are the gatekeeper to that situation. We can hold the line here, but it's the youngsters that are born with the phone in their hand they're going to be the nut that they'll crack. If they can't crack us, they'll go again later on, won't they?
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Go after the digital natives.
Yeah. Well, we have the advantage of remembering what life was like before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas, the kids born today don't remember life before the pandemic. They don't remember life before social media and smartphones. That's another battle.
Does that not bring responsibility to us then as parents to get the kids out more, to get them away from digital more? As we see the problems, and we're all addicted to it. I'm as addicted to it as anybody else, but it's about, we have a responsibility. It's like being an awakened person, if you like, someone on that awareness. It brings responsibility, and people don't want that. So that's why people in 2020 would prefer the government to look after them. Because if you see that actually it's quite the opposite, that the government are not looking after you, it's quite the opposite, then that brings a whole new worldview, doesn't it? And you've got to look after yourself then. You've got to have responsibility. And that becomes tricky. But I think if enough people, like you were saying about the council tax and the bills and things like that, if enough people are doing it and they feel safe in the herd, that there's enough people doing it together, then that will be fine. It's standing on your own, which is the tough thing. That's a really difficult thing. So I think we got to get people together. Hence why I thought we'll start the gatherings again. We'll try and get people together, maybe do some outreach, get into the streets, talk to people, encourage people. You're not on your own. A lot of these people will feel they don't want to do it. But if everybody's doing it, then they'll do it.
I'm Spartacus.
Yes.
Spartacus.
Exactly. Yeah.
They can't
this
lock
brings
us all up.
responsibility. No, but the thing is, they won't need to in the digital ID and the social credit system. They won't need to lock you up.
It's digitally disown you.
Yeah.
Well, we've blown through an hour already. This has been lots of fun.
Yeah.
Really
It's been great, It's been great. But let's be positive, though. Let's end it positive. I think we will be fine, I think we just need to come together. Talk to your neighbours, talk to strangers. Come to gather, get with people that are like-minded, and you'll feel so much better in this crazy battle we find ourselves in.
Yeah, we'll get to those sunlit uplands.
Yeah. Maybe put some tactical posts on social media, if you're on Facebook or whatever. Put some posts up and see if you get any likes from people. And that guy I used to work with 10 years ago, he's liked my post about digital. And then you can sort of foster that relationship and reconnect with people who maybe you knew years ago, and turns out they're based as fuck as well. It's like having a friend all over again.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to just connect with people and be social outside the screen anyway. Generally for mental health or whatever you want to tag on it.
Definitely, Ben. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been great, guys. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. We should do it again, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
I wanted to ask you about Stellify, but we've sort of run out of time.
Well, next
now,
time. Next time.
That's your website. That's is it quite a new project you set up? Stellify.
It's been going about 18 months on the YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And I dive into a lot of consciousness and the reality, because my journeys took me on a lot of interesting spiritual paths. So I wanted to know why the politicians and the the Bilderbergs and why they behave the way they behave. So I've been diving into that, but that's for another day then.
Cool. Well, the links are in the show notes if you want to follow up with Ant's material. I highly recommend it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been great. Nice to meet you, Ant.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Hopefully
And
meet
you
up again
guys,
soon.
thank you so much.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yeah.
You too. You
Cheers,
too.
then.
Take care.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Okay, folks. We'll be back in, 10, 15 minutes? Do some news?
Yeah.
Bit of news? Nothing too crazy.
No.
It's been a long day for me.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Oh,
and a long
weekend.
night.
Storm damage, repairs again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's time for fences, isn't it?
Yeah. More emergency French repairs.
Climate
Frenching.
change.
Climate change, yeah, I'm blaming climate. I'm blaming the cow farts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
Global climate warming change. Right. Stay tuned, folks. We're back in 10, 15 minutes. Bye.
Bye.